Hello and good morning and welcome to Masai School, a place where you learn to earn pay only when you get hired. A 21st century coding school, our focus is to build your skills holistically and so that you can get the right job, aspirational jobs that you're looking for. Today, uh, under the banner of Skillathon, which is basically to build to make you a competent programmer. As you know that today, the companies are not just looking for coding skills, they're also looking at your soft skills and a programmer mindset. Keeping that in mind, at Masai School, we launched this initiative called Skillathon, where our students get 1 hour every day to build their communication skills, soft skills, and programmer mindset holistically over the next 100 days so that they become competent developers. You know that soft skills are not just good to have, they are your catalytic skills and life skills in order to improve your employability quotient. What are the three areas that we covered? Are the skill set, tool set, and the mindset that make you a competent programmer. Is there a formula? Yes. Skill set plus tool set into mindset. Take care of the mindset of a programmer, and then you see that the magic happening. Under the mindset of a programmer, that we're talking about the problem solving mindset. It's a combination of not just the mindset, but also the skill set and the tool set that is required in order to hone the skills of a problem solving. So we started this journey by looking at the three C's of problem solving. In fact, Karl Popper said very beautifully, all life is problem solving and problems are only opportunities in workloads. The three C's that we covered are the curiosity, creative thinking, and critical thinking. So far in this program, we have already seen curiosity. The root of creativity is curiosity. Build curiosity and you see life is more enjoyable, meaningful, and every moment that you cherish. Talking about creative thinking, it's a power of lateral thinking. It's an ability to handle an information differently. We looked at the different tools that are required to have creative thinking. Creative pause, PO, and focus, alternatives, and many other creative thinking tools we got. We are coming to the last C today, and it's all about critical thinking. And I'm going to give you a range of tools that are required to build your critical thinking. We'll be looking this in two parts. We will look at the part one today and the part two of critical thinking tomorrow. So, talking about just a step back, there are two kinds of thinking, right, friends? We told about creative thinking, which is a divergent thinking, branching off in different direction. The other one is a critical thinking, is bringing towards or moving towards one point. So, what are the key attributes of any critical thinking? Typically, if you look at it, what is critical thinking? It's a disciplined thinking, a self disciplined thinking, which attempts to reason at the highest level of quality in a fair minded way. A very powerful way to look at what is creative thinking. It is a discipline. So, he's thinking that in a way to be a structured way of looking at asking some very, very tough questions, attempts to reason the highest level of quality in a fair minded way. Critical thinking can also be looked at as something that is the key attributes would be accuracy. The person who put on the hat of a critical thinking, he looks for accuracy, he looks for precision, he or she looks for clarity. The person also wants relevance to what that particular solution is likely to do to solve that problem. How much of depth that I have gone into understand that problem, the breadth of the opportunity. It's not just the breadth, but also the breadth of solving that problem. Is there a logic? Is there a significance of doing this activity or a solution? And is there a fairness? So some of the key attributes of a person who is into critical thinking would ask this series of these questions. Now, what do good critical thinkers do? That's the important question that we need to ask for. Good critical thinker actually raise series of questions. You'll see that there are many quotes around questioning. One of them is Winston Churchill. He said that don't judge the man by the statement he make, judge him by the questions he asks, right? So that's one powerful way to look at it. Ability to ask good questions. Nothing is more powerful. Ability to ask good questions. The Japanese said that to ask may be a moment of shame, but not to ask and remain ignorant is a lifelong shame. The answer you seek lies in the question you ask, said J. Krishnamurti. So, ability to raise vital questions and problems, formulating them clearly and precisely, is one thing that good thinkers do. Good thinkers also gather and assess relevant information. using abstract ideas to interpret it effectively. Good critical thinkers arrive at a well reasoned conclusion and solution, testing them to verify or reassure that the right solution has been reached. Good critical thinkers are also open minded, explore alternative systems and thought, compared to what you think critical thinkers don't do, but actually they should be right open minded, recognizing and assessing as needs be and their own assumptions. Good critical thinker communicate effectively with others. Friends, remember that you are not solving a problem in isolation. You're largely solving the problem together as a group. You may be the CEO of the company, the CTO of an organization, but still you need to toss your idea, bounce this idea with your colleagues and come up with a solution which is there is a buy-in. So your ability to communicate effectively with others to arrive at a solution is very, very important. So these are the few things that we saw. Apart from that, critical thinkers are also curious. A lot of humility is there, and skepticism and creativity. Yes, a dose of creativity should be there even in critical thinking. Now, how you and me can raise our critical thinking abilities? There are five things that we must do. First and foremost, coming back to it, raise vital questions to gather and assess information, arrive at a well reasoned conclusion, remain open minded, and keep communicating with others. These are the five things I've just summarized to you what we have seen it previously. So let's look at an interesting conversation that happens in a class between a teacher and a set of students. Teacher pops up this question, what is happening to our global climate? And, and let's look at the way that the conversation goes. Raghav says it is getting warmer. And the teacher asks, how do you know, Raghav, it's getting warmer? What evidence do you have to support the answer? Raghav says, it's all in the news all the time, ma'am. There is always saying that it is not as cold as it used to be. We all have these recorded heat days. Teacher, has anyone else heard this kind of news? Mary says, yeah, I have read about it in the newspaper, and they call it global warming, I think. Teacher, are you saying that you learned about global warming from a newscaster? Are you assuming that they know about global warming? Is it occurring? Just see the flow of conversation the teacher is getting into. Abdul, I heard it too, ma'am. It's terrible. The ice caps in the Arctic are melting. The animals are losing their homes. I think the newscasters hear it from the scientists that they're studying the issue. These are not the opinions and the observations of the newscaster. This is the based on the scientists. There's a scientific community. Teacher, in that case, and the scientists are telling the newscasters, how do scientists know? Series of questions. Rahul, I have these instruments to measure climate. They conduct research that measures Earth's temperature. How long do you think scientists have been doing this? Grant, probably 100 years. Fantastic. Teacher, yes, how did you know that? Mayank says that maybe a little more than that. Maybe actually it is 140 years since about 1880 it is being done. Ashwin, I just figured that it seems that when the instruments were available and the scientists had means to measure climate like that. So looking at the 100 years of climate graph, here is something critical thing is coming, logic is coming. What we can say about Earth's climate, Jasprit, the 20th century has become much warmer than the previous centuries. Teacher, can we hypothesize? Why? One word, pollution. Teacher, what are you assuming when you say pollution is the cause of temperatures to rise? Rahul says carbon dioxide from cars causes pollution and chemicals from factory. And Rahul says hairspray causes dangerous chemical to get into the atmosphere. Teacher, okay, let's take a minute to review what we have discussed so far. So, friends, what is it that the teacher has done for critical thinking is she has asked a series of questions and deduced from basis what the students are saying and having it as a conversation and going it deeply, both in terms of depth and also in terms of breadth, so that this is what the critical thinking is all about. If you look at it, words like assumptions, prejudices, bias don't come into it. It's a much more structured conversation that you have seen here, right? The man who invented this is Socrates, and not now, some 3,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago, in 1470 BC, he came up with this method called Socratic methods of teaching, and he talked about six types of Socratic question, and he is to deduce the answers by asking these questions. I'm going to give you a quick overview of this, of the six different methods of question. First one is clarifying thinking and understanding. Can you give me an example of this? Could you explain me further? Are you saying that this is what is the reason that is causing? What is the problem you're trying to solve? Let's take a class is discussing about water problems in Bangalore. Okay. Can you give me an example why you're saying there is a water problem in Bangalore? Could you explain further, please? Are you saying that because we depend on tankers to supply water, the problem is unprecedented? Clarifying thinking and understanding. Let's look at the second aspect, challenging assumptions. Let's say there is an assumption saying that by 2025, Bangalore is going to run out of water. Oh, are you assuming? How would you verify it? What are the what on what basis that you are saying that? I'm challenging some assumption here. Examining evidence and rationale. Why do you say that? How did you know that Bangalore is going to run out of water in 2025? Why? What evidence is that supports you? Let's consider an alternative perspective. Okay, let's say that we're going to run out of water. How can we make sure that there is a water supply? I know that we depend on Kaveri water, and Kaveri river is not giving us enough water and does not have the groundwater table is doing. Can we look at alternative? Can we look at desalination? So in that case, where do we get the seawater from? Maybe from the Tamil Nadu coast or from the Karnataka coast. What is the other side of the argument? What makes your viewpoint better? Should we look at recycling, reusing, or reducing the usage of water? Other alternative perspective. Considering its implication, what are the implication of consequences? How does that affect? What if you are wrong? What does your experience tell us will happen? Meta questions. That means it is a broad level question. Why do you think I asked that question? What does this mean? So asking these questions will make the other person come out with answers, explore more deeply. But having said that, how you ask and when you ask are equally important for effectiveness. But having said that, what are the barriers to critical thinking? Our own ego, our group thinking, assumptions, wishful thinking, poor communication. Now, these are all the barriers to critical thinking. We must overcome that effectively if you want to build your critical thinking. Right? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you an overview of problem solving tools. And today I'm going to discuss 2 or 3 tools, and I'm going to give you some activity that you need to do. And then in the part 2 of this workshop, we will look at the other problem solving tools. Now, I have a series of tools, starting with my favorite one, incredibly powerful, very simple, is a 5 why technique. The second tool to build your critical thinking ability is pros cons fix, all about logic. Matrix, ability to put together a complex set of data in rows and columns. And then we're going to do some hypothesis testing. We come up with, formulate some hypotheses, and then we test them. Of late, one principle that is becoming very, very powerful, used by the top leaders, including Elon Musk, is first principle thinking. Brainstorming to generate ideas, 6 thinking hats, and cause and effect diagram. Okay, so let's look at a few of them today's session, and the balance we will look in the next session. The first one I want to start one is the 5 why technique, the critical thinking, identifying the cause. Incredibly powerful, as the name says, that you ask why 5 times in sequence. Developed and made it popular by Toyota Motor Corporation during the quality revolution that they had in 70s. The one of the examples that they applied this was constantly they were getting complaint saying that the paint quality of Toyota cars are not in line with Nissan, Mitsubishi, Subaru, Honda, etc. So they all met up and they started applying this 5 why question. Why is our customers are feeling that the quality of Toyota paint is not in line with other competing brands in the Japanese market? The answer was 2 to 3 years down the line, a similar car, similar color, Toyota looks much older vis-a-vis Mitsubishi. Let's take a red. A red of Toyota looks much older 2 to 3 years time compared to Honda or Mitsubishi or a Nissan. They asked, why is this happening? Then the answer to that was, currently the quality of paint that we are using is not cutting edge vis-a-vis what is being used in Mitsubishi and Honda. Then they asked the question, why is it that we are not having cutting edge quality paint that is being offered by others? The answer to that was our suppliers have not invested in cutting edge manufacturing processes? The answer to the question was why they were not being able to invest. They had working capital issues. Why they had working capital issues? Because payment terms of Toyota are very stringent. Because of the volumes, the suppliers have no other go to agree to this. So the root cause of the problem is Toyota need to relook at the working capital norms so that their payment terms are better, so that they can build their working capital norms. In turn, they can invest in building up the technical capability, which can give better paint, that can give better finish. So that is 5 why technique. Incredibly powerful, very simple, getting to the root of the problem. Right now, I'll give you one more very simple program. You're on your way home from work and your car stops in the middle of the road. Let's apply 5 why technique. Why did your car stop? Because it ran out of fuel. Why it ran out of fuel? Because I did not buy any fuel on my way to work. Why I did not fill up my tank this morning? Because I did not have the money. Why I did not have money? Because I lost all in the poker game. Why I lost money in the poker game? I was not good at bluffing. Now, root cause of the problem is bluffing. So I can give you many examples of this. One of the benefits of this technique is it helps you to identify the root cause of the problem. And one of the simplest tools, easy to complete without any statistical analysis. But 5 why technique is most useful when problems involve human factors or interactions in a day-to-day business life. Right? That is when the 5 why technique is very useful. Now, I have a task. In fact, I'm going to give you 2 activities today. The first task is choose a situation which has gone wrong in the last 6 months. Maybe you did not get a job. Maybe you did not complete a course. Maybe your health was not good. Maybe you had a breakdown in relationship. Any of those, you can take it in the last 6 months. Apply 5 why technique to identify the root cause and list 3 key learnings to avoid a repeat in the future. I'll come back to it a little more. Most important is strive for 5 whys. Don't quit too early. Use as many whys as you need to get to an actionable root cause. Most important, the whys are based on facts and observation and not on opinions, assumptions, and biases. Remember critical thinking. Facts and observation are very important here. Test your why logic by using therefore in reverse. So, friends, if you don't ask the right questions, you don't get the right answers. A question asked in the right way often points out to its own answer. Asking question is the ABC of diagnosis. Good doctors ask good questions. Good consultant ask good questions. Good leaders ask good questions. Only an inquiring mind solves problems, right? So let's look at the second tool that I'm going to introduce to you is a pros cons fix. I'm going to give you a personal example, a little old, 6, 7 years old back. In my previous organization, we had the Club Mahindra holiday entitlement. So company had a corporate membership and employees can choose to avail this. So we were planning to go on a vacation in the month of September. Kids had holidays and there were 2 resorts that were available from Club Mahindra. One was Munnar, the other one was in Trivandrum. Uh, uh, Now the question is, which one do we choose? Now, obviously, as a family, we had different of opinions and perspectives because each one looked at these places differently. One is a hill resort, other one is a beach, right? So let's take the alternate one that is going to Munnar. Now, what are the pros of going to Munnar? A beautiful hill station, one of the highest ratings as far as the resort is concerned, impeccable views. You have nothing else to do. You go there, it's a quality family time that you have. The food is reasonably okay, but the coffee plantation, the tea plantation is amazing to watch. It's actually tea plantation, not the coffee plantation. Amazing to watch. The weather is very good. The monsoon has just subsided. It's brilliant. Now, what are the cons? The cons is if you want to go to Munnar, you have to go to Cochin, and from Cochin is a 4 hours drive, and it is uphill. And my elder son Rahul and my wife is not very comfortable going the uphill. They tend to feel nausea about it. Again, the time taken go to Cochin, Bangalore Cochin is more expensive route, and plus we need to hire a cab and go all the way up. So that it would take almost 4 or 5 hours from here to the airport and then go by air to Cochin, and plus up to there almost 10, 12 hours it takes to reach a destination from door to door. Vis-a-vis Trivandrum was much easier. Take a flight, go directly to the destination, 30 kilometers from the airport to the resort. But what are the other cons apart from the distance? And the other problem is There is no nearby things to watch in Munnar Resort. The closest place is 40, 50 kilometers. You need to engage a car, and they're pretty expensive to engage a car. And you will see that somebody had wrote it there. A nearby restaurant, a Tamil restaurant, four of us, went and had a lunch which costed us only 380 rupees, but the taxi to and fro costed me 750 rupees. So these are all the cons that we need to take care and see whether we can eliminate them. Then we thought one option is that we will go by overnight train from Bangalore to Cochin, stay in my uncle's place, take his car, and then go to Munnar, so that the cost perspective comes down. We break the journey, and plus probably we have a car to move around in Munnar, neutralize as many cons as possible. Still, we did that. We have not looked at the second option of going to Trivandrum, right? Now let's look at the second option, going to Trivandrum. What are the pros? Pros are very simple. It's a beach. Kids love to do that. One direct flight from Bangalore to Trivandrum. In fact, Bangalore Trivandrum costs very less compared to Bangalore Cochin. And multiple things that we can do. We can look at the beaches. We can go to Kanyakumari. We can go to Vivekananda Rock. We can look at exploring Trivandrum, Padmanabhan Temple, local delicacies, shopping, etc. Now, what are the cons? There are two major cons, friends. One is it's a monsoon time, so if it rains, which is likely to do, your day is going to be messed up. And the second thing is it becomes too hectic. You're going for a vacation, but you have 10 things to do, then you're just running from pillar to post. So that is what we were looking at it. Finally, we zoomed in and we decided to go to Munnar. We had a fantastic vacation. So friends, this is a pros cons fix, right? Similarly, when student asks me, should I take up full stack web development or Android web development, you can apply pros cons fix. Should I join Masai School, or should I do my post graduation after my engineering? Again, a pros cons fix can be applied. This is an incredibly powerful tool whenever you have alternatives. And I always tell you that never conclude by without looking at an alternative. Again, choose one situation you're currently working on which has got a dilemma. You have two options to choose. Something very simple, right? Recently we changed our website. One was the dark theme, and the other one was the old theme, the white theme. Each one has pros, cons, and then there could be fixes. So we debated it, and then we decided that we'll go for a dark theme website so that it gives us the advantages what is required. Okay, so sorry about it. So I want you to think about one more situation here, and I want you to think about pros cons fix and apply it. So you already have two tasks. One is a matrix, other one is a pros cons fix. So 5 why technique, pros cons fix. The third one I'm going to introduce to you is matrix, and then I will conclude the session one, and we will do the session two tomorrow. So what is matrix? Matrix is nothing but a grid with as many cells as needed for whatever problem that is being analyzed. There are different types of matrix: 2 by 2 matrix, 2 by 4 matrix, 3 by 3 matrix. The more it gets more complicated. Now let me give you an example here. Friends, whenever we are hiring candidates, always there are two components. One is eligibility, the other one is suitability. What does eligibility means? His qualification: B.Tech, computer science, 2018 pass out, has 6 months of internship experience. He is 25 years old, knowledgeable about C++, reasonably good in math and logic, and skills are pretty good as far as the communication skills are concerned. That is eligibility. Now, what is suitability? That is little more fuzzy. What kind of a behavior he demonstrates it? What is his temperament when we ask some tough questions? What kind of an aptitude that he demonstrates it? The kind of soft skills: empathy, learnability, patience, listening, ability to ask some good questions, need to learn, need to earn. How does he demonstrate all this? That is suitability. Now, how do we put together? Largely, all the candidates can be put into 4 brackets using the concept of matrix: eligibility and suitability. Eligibility can be low or high, suitability can be low or high. So based on that, we have 2 by 2 quadrants. Obviously, low eligibility, low suitability is misfit, is rejected straight away. In fact, I will ask the HR manager, why did you shortlist this candidate? You have wasted my time. High on suitability, high on eligibility, low on suitability can come and create potential problem. That is why we have to be very careful if you are going to recruit someone only on eligibility. Only high on suitability, low on eligibility, he may surprise you in the sense that if you give him the right training, right environment, he may, again, I'm not saying for sure, he may throw surprises, be loyal, keep contributing, work very hard. But the ideal target is to get into the quadrant 4, that is high on suitability and eligibility. Now, what are the advantages of matrix? First, separating elements of a problem. Poor hiring. Why? Because of eligibility, suitability. We are differentiating it very clearly. And then categorizing information by type, and then comparing pieces of information to one another, and finally seeing the patterns of among the information and comparing one type of information with another. Okay, let's take another example. A detective is solving a crime. He needs to look at 4 essential scenarios on the following hypothesis. Is subject commit the crime? Did not commit the crime? Is telling the truth? Is not telling the truth? A simple analysis, I can make 2 by 2 matrix, and each quadrant I will come up with different set of questions, different strategies, different interrogating technique, different tools can I do and tactics to arrive at it. Okay, so that was number 3. So we have looked at 5 why techniques, pros, cons, fix, and matrix. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to work on these 3 tools that we have discussed so far and come out with those three exercises. Take a situation which has gone wrong in the last 6 months, apply 5 why technique. Take a situation where you had 2 alternatives and applies pros cons fix. And I want you to think of a matrix, something that other than eligibility, suitability, and apply them, and just see that how you are able to categorize information. Okay, great. So thank you so much for this sessions today, and we will catch up with you tomorrow, and then we will take it forward with hypothesis testing, decision tree, first principles, brainstorming, 6 thinking hat, cause and effect grammar. Thank you so much.